Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? So in today's video, we're going to be replacing the passenger blend door actuator for the 05 to 09 Mustang. I don't know if this also applies to 2010 to 14 model, so I'm just going to label it as such. I think this is more of a common issue on these style Mustangs, on these S197s versus the newer style. You have a total of 4 blend door actuators. You do have one that's located behind this vent that you have to go through the gauge cluster here. And then you do have one on the passenger side, which happens to be mine. You have to go through the airbag and get behind this vent over here for the one that fucks up and goes through the defrosters here. So it is Houston, Texas, and it is becoming summertime here shortly. It is now March, so we're kind of entering into spring here. And luckily my windows still work, but when it comes to the summer heat, I definitely need to be having my AC working, and this is a vital component to the AC, is making sure that your air conditioning is actually blowing through the fucking vents and not the defrosters, right? So if I even turn on my AC here, if I want to set it over to the head position, as you can see, all it wants to do is blow through the defrosters. So we definitely have an issue, I think, with this blend door actuator behind this vent. So there's plenty of these videos on YouTube of how to replace the blend door actuator. I thought, fuck it, why not one more? I'll show you my situation. I'm actually going to be tearing down my old one. I'm going to open it up and see if it's even salvageable. Because what happens is the gears, there's these little plastic gears that sit inside these actuators, and just over time, over normal wear and tear, the teeth probably just break, or the plastic breaks in some way, shape, or form, and it gets caught up, it binds up, and then it can't function as it should, right? So we're going to be replacing the blend door actuator on this side. We're going to remove the passenger airbag here. I believe there's some screws here. We got to take out the glove box as well. All this stuff has to come out. You are going to probably want to have some plastic pry tools to pop out the passenger airbag here once we do remove it. But before we do that, let's go ahead and disconnect our battery so that way we don't have an airbag blowing in our face. Alrighty, so first step is we got to remove this glove box here. So you're going to have quite a few 7 mils down here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 down there at the bottom. And then this whole glove box should just kind of pop out once you push in on each corner. Alright, so this is with the glove box removed. We're going to go up inside, and you see that black screw right there where my flashlight's pointing, and that one right there. Those two got to be removed, and then as well as the connection for the airbag. So we're going to go ahead and remove those really quick, and then all you want to do is just slide the airbag right out facing towards you. Leave it to 4 to make these screws 8 mils and not 7 mils like the glove box down here. So fun. All right, so the way that I got the airbag out after I got those 2 screws removed and disconnected the plug, I literally just pushed back up on the airbag and it just kind of popped itself out. So if you get behind the little motor on the airbag, you can literally just push it out towards you and then it'll pop right out like no problem. All right, it's going to be kind of difficult to show you which actuator we're working with. So this is one of the blend door actuators right here. This isn't the one that we're replacing today, though. It's actually the one above it, which is this guy right here. You can barely see it. Maybe there you can kind of see it a little bit better. But you got one screw. I'm trying to get my fingers up here. One screw located in the top left, you can barely see it. One right there. Here's our new blend door actuator. So it's going to kind of sit like that up inside, right? So you got a screw here, a screw there, and then a screw over there. So you got about 3 of them that hold that in. It should be a 7 mil. Worst case scenario, it's probably going to be an 8 mil. So, I mean, most of the time Ford uses between 8, 7, and 10 on most of their interior shit. So we're going to go ahead and try to unplug this from the bottom here, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the old blend door actuator and then get the new one in again. You're gonna have to really get your hands up in there and probably get a swivel. Swivel is probably gonna be your best friend here to get these screws and get that blend door actuator up there at the top. All right, so that's gonna be the one for the defrost if it is stuck on defrost. So we're gonna go ahead and remove it right now. All right, we got the old one out, which is this guy right here. So it is definitely the original. It was assembled, it looks like, on April 15th of 2005. So this is going to be our new one here. And you want to make sure that this little peg sits perfectly. If you guys are struggling to get this lined up and fixed in position just like I am, obviously this little pin, right, this sits into that little black arm that moves the vents up and down, correct, right? That direct airflow. So once you get this, you can actually move that little black handle and you can kind of swing it whatever direction you want it to be in, just because when you get your new motor, it's probably not going to be in the same position. The arm's not going to be in the same position as your old one, so you may have to move it and adjust it accordingly. So this guy actually has a little dial right here. You see this little plus sign right in the corner here? This is actually a little dial pin that will help you line it up perfectly, because the way that it's supposed to sit in the car is about like that. It's about diagonal. I don't know, what is that, like a 30 degree, 40 degrees right there. So it's gonna sit like this, right? So let this little dial here be your guide to basically get it fixed in position, and it'll help you align it properly. And then you can swing the arm with your index finger side to side, and so that way you can get this guy lined up and fit into position. So I'll show you how it looks with the new one in right now. We go up under the glove box. It's going to be kind of hard. I do apologize. I'm going to try to show you this as best as I can. So here's the actuator that we replaced. You can see the arm is sitting just above right there, those two little black spots right there. Let me go ahead and lock the focus here. So you see that little black arm up there? It's kind of, it's right here. So you can see that I got it lined up. This little black arm has to sit where that little white hand would sit. Screw would go right where my index finger is, and then the other screw would go right here. Here's that little dial I was talking about, and it lined it up just perfectly. So if that helps you line it up, just remember that dial, it needs to sit in this dial before it can even be screwed in. If you have to swing that black arm either this way or up a little bit just to get it to line up perfectly, then you can. It's not going to do any harm. My only question is, once I put the key in accessory mode, is it going to know what setting it needs to be in, and the motors are just going to work automatically? I think that's what this thing's designed to do, so we're about to find out. Let me go ahead and screw this thing in, plug it back in, and then we're going to give it a shot. Pro tip, by the way, I think there's another passenger airbag recall, just like the one that happened in 2020. I think there's another one that had just recently happened for 2024 and 2025. So I'd look at your local dealership. I could be wrong on this, but I saw something in All Data when I was at work the other day that these passenger airbags also have shrapnel in them as well. So I don't think Ford can get their shit together and get these little airbags right, because this one's already been replaced back in 2019. So just a little fun fact. All right, moment of truth here. Let's see if it fixed our issue. So we're going to put it in key on. Let's go ahead and put this thing to, oh, you can hear it make noise right now. So it's probably adjusting itself on the arm as to what position we're in right now, which we're on off, right? So let's go ahead and hit face. Oh, there you go. Already started working. Oh, that feels way better. Leaps better now. Yep, it's no longer stuck on defrost. Let's go ahead and put it on defrost. Well, that one's going to be for the feet. Yeah, the feet option never really seemed like it ever worked that great anyways. I do kind of feel a little bit of air down there, but it's honestly a really shitty feature on these older cars. You never really feel that. Let's just do feet. You definitely feel it when you're not using both though, so that's good. Feet and defrost. Yep, there's definitely air coming out of the defrost. And now it's just on defrost. Yep, I'd say we fixed our issue. Definitely worth it. Anyways, guys, in the next segment here, I'm going to be basically just tearing apart my old one. If you guys liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Get me in the algorithm there to help other people out. I do have other videos on the S197 Mustang. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you need any help, just let me know. I'm always eager to help you all out if you do run into any of these issues on these S197s. If you have or want any other more informative videos, I do have more videos on the S197 Mustang here. In the next segment, I'm just basically going to be tearing apart my old motor and just kind of seeing how it failed, if there's anything that I can see. So if you do want to stick around for that part of the video, it will be towards the end. It's just more for informative information as to how these motors fail, and it's just for me to reverse engineer it and just kind of see why it failed, right? I get a little curious, and so it gives me more information to tell other people how these motors fail when I do give information out, right? So if you guys want to stick around, we're going to go ahead and pull apart the old motor and then go from there. You guys have a good one. All right, I went ahead and opened it up. So you're going to need a flathead, and you're basically just going to want to pry all these little tabs on it, and then it'll eventually just pop apart. So I don't see any noticeable damage. The grease is still there, obviously. Let's see if I can take off the, there we go, now it's focusing a little bit better. You can see here, like I said, there's these little plastic cogs that sit in it, and that just kind of moves the arm up and down wherever you're trying to locate the airflow, right? This little motor drives these gears that then turn those gears, and etc., right? So I don't see any noticeable damage. The grease is still kind of tacky. It's a little bit old, but I think what happened was the motor itself just died. However, if I try to pop this guy out, I don't know if it's gonna let. Oh shit! There it is. Oh, well, I lost the gear in there. Hold on. Well, this was the gear I wanted to show you guys. Though. Something that I saw that was a little interesting is it looks like there's a split in it though. You can barely see it on camera, but there's a tiny little hairline crack in it, and I don't know if that's supposed to be like that by the factory or not, but I can't imagine how that would cause it to not function unless the plastic is actually binding up because of that little crack. The other gears are getting caught on that crack, and therefore it's not turning like it should. So it's either this is what caused the actuator to fail, or it was the motor itself, because the other gears seem to be in okay condition. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it at that, I guess. Everything else seems to be a-okay here. But I don't know if I could restore this. Maybe I can get another little gear and then, I don't know, test it in my car and see if I get it to function again. But then again, it's like, what's the point? These little modules are now about $30, $40. So, but yeah, I think that's going to do it. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.